Welcome to Comics League Dark. I am Jared. I'm here with Taladia Plays. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey,
Lois
what's up,
Lane is
Daniel?
Lois Lane.
Yeah, she is lame. And today we have a pretty good show lined up for all you fine people watching us all over the world. So today, let us discuss whatever. So let's give you guys the options. We're going to talk about the best modern comics. We're going to talk about the Penguin trailer. We're going to talk about DC sales collapsing and why that is. We're going to talk about The Boys season 4 being bad, but Taladia, why don't you pick our first topic for the night?
All right, we'll kick it off with a bad. We have to kick it off with bad. Then we'll end it off on a positive because we want to do that.
All right. Well, the question is, which bad?
Well, which one do you want to do?
Rock, paper, scissors, Boys. So here's the problem. So here's the thing. I'm watching season 4, and there are some stuff I'm liking of it. The problem with The Boys, and this is something Nick and I have talked about in the past, but the issue is that progressively what you notice throughout the other seasons is that it starts to get more and more toward one side of the political spectrum, and it gets to be really distracting and annoying. I'm fine with The Boys taking a political stance, but the problem is it started to get too one-sided. And it got to the point where it just got really annoying. And I'm just like, okay, I get it. This is really heavy-handed, guys. Just stop it. It's starting to get really contrived. Didn't come. Yeah, but I'm not saying it's. But here's the difference, Tevia. The comics were more aggressive than the show. The show was actually much more tame.
Because of obvious reasons.
Yeah, the earlier seasons were much more like equal opportunity blasting, but this one, it's like all of it. And the creator has been very clear on that. Yeah, today's shows aren't meant for entertaining. They're meant to be political. I still enjoy. Yeah, to be clear, the stuff that I like 100%, but it's like even if I agree or disagree with the political stance that they're espousing, it gets kind of like grating, honestly.
Yeah.
What do you think, Taladia?
I mean, I'm waiting till this full season is released, like for The Boys. I'm not gonna like watch like the full season 4 because I always watch it like each season out, once they're all released. So like from what I saw though on the internet, people's reactions, it isn't a good one.
It's the lowest rated season of the show so far.
Yeah,
so
it's lowest rated
that's why.
season. Yeah, it's been reviewed.
Well, see, here's the thing, and this is another thing that the old man and I talked about. It's because, all right, and Tevia says he ignores the political stuff, enjoys the ride, and that's the right attitude. That's what I try and do. The other problem I have with The Boys, and this could just be because I got tired of the IP, because it goes a little too over extreme with the violence and stuff, to the point it's too much that I started to become desensitized to it. Because in the earlier seasons, we hadn't seen anything like this. So it was like, oh my gosh, that was crazy. But now I'm like,
you've seen it before.
So yeah, I'm like in the show. So I'm like, so why do I care? Yeah, Daniel sums it up. The Boys is a kind of experiencing a Game of Thrones season 8, kind of.
But at least it's got one more season and that's it. So,
and to be clear, there's still some fun stuff that I am enjoying. Like I like all the Homelander stuff where he's learning more about his past. I like that, and we're seeing more of that. So I'm definitely digging that part and the overall plot of the season. Since Taladia hasn't seen it yet, I'm not gonna like go into specifically what parts I like, but there are some really cool parts that I really, really, really like about that. So it's not like I'm hate. Let me put it this way: it's no Superman and Lois where there's, I mean, my adventures with Superman where there's more stuff I hate than like. There's more stuff I like than hate, honestly, in this season. It's just my problem is that the other stuff keeps showing up where I'm like, oh, good Lord. And Tevia, I know that. It's just the show started off a little less extreme. That's why.
And because the reason is they can't go extreme on TV, Tevia. You got to remember that. There's a certain guy.
Yeah, go ahead.
there's a certain guideline that they have to follow on TV or on streaming platforms. If they go over the edge, you can't really make the project. For example, 18 rated stuff. People will just be like, why? Because it's simply because there's guidelines you gotta follow. You gotta follow those rules. If you don't follow those rules, you're not gonna be able to make the project.
Yeah, and the thing is, there are some stuff that like there's no way they would be able to represent on the show because it's like there's no way they would be able to do hero gasm the way it was in the comics. There's absolutely no way.
No way. Yeah.
So I'm like, they are sensitizing it a little bit. I just wish they would do it a little more. But I mean, it's a pretty interesting like premise for a show, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. But so let's move on to our next topic because that's pretty much all I can talk about here.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the Penguin trailer, modern DC Comics, or DC sales collapsing?
DC sales collapsing.
All right. So here's the thing about this. What we're seeing is the issue that DC is encountering right now, what I think is like, yeah, there is a declining sales. Now, here's the interesting thing, Taladia. So
Yeah.
you know how we pretty much just had Free Comic Book Day, right?
Yeah.
One of them was a preview to Absolute Power, a free comic preview. A lot of comic book shops were saying all their DC like customers were not picking that up. They were not interested.
Yeah.
Which tells me if this comic is intended to boost sales, it's doing a horrible job of it, which makes me think a lot of which is why I don't think I'm going to bring this up. Tom King's Wonder Woman is long for this world, because if the sales of the event are bad, it's going to be like Charles Boswell says, I can't get into much Marvel and DC nowadays. I seem to want more. Hey, that's fair enough, bro. I mean, but the good part about comics, there's like 70 years of backlog of great stuff to check out. So I would check it out one more time.
80 plus years.
80 plus years of really solid stuff.
Yeah.
Was that it wasn't a preview because it didn't give us anything about it gave you the overall context, but the point is, Tevia, the DC fans weren't interested in Absolute Power, in getting a free look at Absolute Power.
And the funny thing is, because I know a few people that I asked about this, they said nobody was picking it up at a local comic book store.
Yeah, exactly.
And the fact is, guys, if nobody's picking up the local comic book store, that is a big sign of worry, right?
Yeah. And our good friend Brit's here, who just passed 64.1 thousand followers. So I just want to congratulate her on that and play her intro.
He's back.
Brit says Absolute Powers, false advertising, LOL, using the Trinity jail for promo, but within the story, it's about the lesser knowns. Yeah, the main three characters are Nightwing, which he's arguably an A-lister, so you have that. But then John Kent and Dreamer, two characters that probably shouldn't exist. So I'm like, what in the name of holy hell is going on? And it got really, really warm in here. Good evening, son.
Heat man.
Flame on. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good. So we're talking about DC sales being in the crapper, and we're talking about how here's the thing, JJheat. So DC is trying to hype up this Absolute Power event, but no one's picking it up.
Well, let's see. You burnt the bridges with event fatigue. Night Terrors was overmarketed in a complete mismatch and too many bloody tie-ins. Gotham War was atrocious. Beast War had potential, but it really should have been a overarching event in the Titan book. It should have been self-contained. Mm-hmm. It shouldn't have been line-wide. It's just so much misfirings and excessive profit. It's just been a steady decline in the past 5 years, and I'll agree with Britt on this one. The Trinity is always going to be a marketing trifecta. It is. It's always going to happen. But at the same time, I get you wanted to keep consistency purposes. Oh, excuse me, but this just isn't a good creative direction. You were better off just either rebooting or dropping any Titans, new Vanguard, or any just post 5G ideas. I get
Exactly.
it. I get it. You didn't have a lot to work with since they put a lot of money and investment in 5G. So I understand it. But either salvage it as a one-off Elseworld story and move on.
No, they said it's not even a cosmic story at all or anything like that.
So what? This is basically just a ripoff of Civil. What? Okay. Okay.
But anyway, real quick, I gotta move on. But
fair enough. Fair enough.
If you caught up on these comments, Britt says Steve Trevor was mentioned too, so I have to play the thing.
Why did you say that name?
Steve Trevor sucks. Last day I was talking with a Japanese friend, and he told me that our Western comics are dull, boring, and have a low quality. He's not wrong. And not to mention if folks on Dreamer makes no sense because that character's so boring. Her power, Taladia, is just that she can enter your dreams.
And the reason why she's in the comics is basically because of the Supergirl TV show. Simple as.
Synergy.
That's so flopped hard. So there you go. DC has been trying to make a new Trinity since I want to say Rebirth.
I'd argue the 90s, but that's neither here or there.
A little bit more with Rebirth. I would argue the first time I really observed it was Future State because you notice they had John, Jason, Yara, and then now they had like
Jason, Damian, and
no. That's the Bat family. But I would still say John. They're trying to push John, but yeah, they're trying to push Dreamer. And it's not working because no one gives a crap about Dreamer. I got news. I'm sorry. No one gives a crap about Dreamer. That's the thing. Just bring back the Trinity in all of its glory. They are yes, there you go. Britt says this is editorial driven. They went through several other writers before picking Wade to try to make this event work. You notice how he wasn't their first choice.
Obviously. And I don't know if I commented this on a video for your channel or for Thinking Criticals, but I want to go ahead and reaffirm this point here.
Go ahead.
Hot take, but Mark Waid's kind of a scumbag. Let's all be honest.
Oh yeah,
the guy's a scumbag.
He can't stop running his mouth. And here's the thing: he's been an a-hole forever. It's not a new thing.
And worse, he's one of the few who was actually barely able to revive his career, and he still can't get off Twitter. Do you know how hard it is to bounce back from getting blacklisted by the big two? I mean, you got to screw up royally bad.
And by the way, Charles, the Trinity it's basically an informal name for Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. They are like supposedly the three icons of DC. I say supposedly because DC does not do anything to make Wonder Woman an A-lister, and putting Tom King on the book is doing the complete opposite. But anyway, who was their first choice? I have no idea.
Likely Joshua Williamson, but he's taken a back seat due to burnout. That's been confirmed by the solicitations.
But even with Joshua Williamson, here's the good part. And I was talking to like Gabe Hernandez, and whenever I talk to Wes about this, it's like the problem with Joshua Williamson is that he can't stick to landing on events. That's the problem with it. Like
character work,
Dark Crisis,
character work, dynamics, background, all there. But he just can't pull off an event book to save his life. He's a little green. He has experience. I ain't going to take it from him, but he cannot stick the landing on an event book. That is something you either have to have a massive amount of talent for or just enough nuance to get by and still leave an impact. Only a select few in the industry, regardless of the big two, were able to pull something like that off. Alan Ross is a perfect example. There are many reasons why these modern writers want to copy Alan Ross so much.
Who's Alan Ross?
Hold on, Alan Ross. Hold on. Am I the writer for Kingdom Come? Hold
Alex
on.
Ross.
Alex Ross.
I was like, who the hell is Alan Ross? Please, did you just have an old man moment?
Please clip that, anyone. No, clip that, somebody.
Clip that, and DM me.
Clip that and DM it to us because we need
that.
Ha.
Dark Crisis was it
was going to be bad regardless, Tevia.
Which you're doing a Crisis, and you even tried changing it to Crisis on Infinite, Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths. But
Alan Moore.
that's probably Alan Moore. Okay, I had them. I had them.
it doesn't make it any better, JHeat. You still made that
An old man. Oh
yeah,
man.
you still made that old man joke. So there you go.
You know, I could bring the clip back at any time. Don't tempt me.
This is my show, so you don't have the clip. So there you go.
And you don't have
But
the power.
honestly, let me ask you guys this, and I'll start with JHeat. How do you think DC could get those sales up?
Okay. See, this is why more older, wiser, more mature JHeat comes into play. Have a reboot and stick to it.
Yes. Don't New 52 it. Everyone has to reboot. Not green. Don't just keep stuff because it sells. If you're going for a reboot, you literally have to commit to it.
But I will say this though. You could, at the time, back when New 52 was rolling around, if they actually did copy Marvel here and do an Elseworld Ultimates route, you could have pulled it off. Keep the main stuff and still have an alternative for new readers. Yeah, purists would have called you out for copying Marvel, but that was the more objective course of action.
I'm going to address this once, and then I'm going to move on from it. De-aging John Kent is not going to bring back sales. That's all I'm going to say on that. Are they really doing that? Yes, they are. Here's the idea, Charles. See, here's the thing. When you look at like top sales and Batavia, I'm talking about getting the sales back. That wouldn't do it.
Jared, let me.
Jared,
I'll take over.
I'll take over.
This is all I'm going to say on this. That is a temporary fix that would only last a few weeks, if that.
Okay, now back to this. Are they really doing that bad though? Yeah,
Yes.
Essentially, so what it is. So here's the thing: when you look at the sales charts for like last month, guess what? All right, Batman is not even in the top 10. Transformers is outselling Batman. Great book, by the way, fantastic book, but it's outselling Batman.
Yeah,
that says a lot.
And Chip Zdarsky's run has completely fallen off, and you will not be able to change my mind. I'll be happy to debate you, but you will not change my mind.
Wait. Mm-hmm. Daniel, bring up Daniel's comment. Super Window will bring back sales.
Well, that would, because that actually brought like a massive amount of sales to the New 52. So I know that would. This may not have been said, but I would have gathered every writer and said, no more Crisis. We have one last thing. And no more. Whoever decides another is going to be Elseworld. That's another good idea.
Didn't there used to be an Elseworld anthology series in the late 90s, early 2000s? I'm almost
positive. I think
that
would work, true. But there's another option that the new. Well, yeah, the Ultimate Universe can help, but I'm saying they don't. Because here's the thing: it's going to be very embarrassing for DC if they're like. Ultimate Universe outsells their mainline one.
Yeah.
By Charles says, I pulled Transformers and love it. Yeah, it's so good. It's hard to believe it's outselling Batman. Yeah, exactly. It is out. To give you an idea of the last time this happened, do you know when Tom King was kicked off of Batman? The minute the Incredible Hulk was outselling Batman.
Now that's saying something.
Because here's what you got to understand about Batman sales, Charles. It's to the point where if DC's all of a sudden... Let's say DC decided we're not going to publish Batman books anymore. Comic book shops shut down. Basically, the reason why DC is able to not care about their other books, I call it the Batman cushion, because they make so much from Batman books that they can afford to not care about the other books. The problem that we're seeing here is that let's say we're seeing Batflation. If we're seeing Batflation, that's gonna be the complete opposite of what DC needs right now.
Okay, I think we should switch gears from this topic. I think.
But
transition.
I agree. So next one, let's go with Penguin Trail. Let's talk about the Penguin Trail. So
positive.
Penguin Trailer came out, and I gotta say, it looks really good. It looks like a straight up crime show. It does. Go ahead, Taladia.
2 words. Clancy Brown.
Yes. I'm like, yes. As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, hello, Lex Luthor. Yeah.
And Hank from Detroit Become Human. Just saying.
I like that, but the point is the show is doing great. I love it. It's I mean, it looks great. I really, 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 really like how the feel of it. It doesn't feel very superhero-y. It feels very grounded. That's what you really need. All right, Daniel says, speaking more seriously, what will bring back sales is a consistent reboot multiverse for all DC franchises that involve a logical canon, also continuity. Yeah, I think so. You have to do regular reboots at this point. It looks it's 10 times better than the Fox Gotham show. Yeah, exactly. It looks like an actually grounded version of the Fox show.
And you know what's better about the show is the fact that you get to explore the Falcone's family, the mafia, right?
Right.
Of Gotham's underground, right? Gotham's what's it called? Crime bosses, right? Their family and the background of the family and whatnot. And the fact that Penguin is literally, you get to see the way he's working his way up working up his way up to the mountaintop of the crime bosses of all crime bosses, right? Just saying. The trailer looked good. I'm definitely interested in watching that. That's for sure. The one thing I will say though is that it's weird that James Gunn posted it before Matt Reeves posted it online.
That's any number of things, but it's still like, okay. I'm scared that this will become Gotham. I mean, probably not. I'd imagine they only have one season, really.
Yeah, unless they split the episodes into two, because this, especially now, Batman 2 itself will be a cushion in case Superman Legacy flops. There's no refuting that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the Penguin, that's only getting one season, maybe two if the episodes are split. I do not see Penguin getting a season 3.
Yeah,
I agree.
Exactly. Daniel says, be aware that the Penguin show is the Clone Wars of the new Batman universe. It may just end at the beginning of the Batman 2. That is true. They could be just using the show as like a mini series to essentially bridge into Batman 2. What do you want to say, Taladia?
But the thing is, in the trailer, you get this. There's the ending of the Batman film. They get to see that part. You remember the floods and everything?
Yeah. So that's why I think it starts immediately after Batman ends, and then it ends immediately when Batman 2 starts.
Yeah.
But besides that, I think I think it's going to be pretty fun. This is one of the few things of DC that I'm actually excited for. So hey, there you go.
Bravo for Matt Reeves for actually doing something not boring.
Batman wasn't boring. It was just really long. So that I'll give him that. When he was actually doing Batman stuff, he was actually pretty fun. So let's go to our main meat topic of the evening, our favorite modern DC comics. So really, so to give a clarification, modern is anything from Crisis to now. So it's post-Crisis to now.
Okay, does that include Flashpoint, or are we just because that's roughly 45 years worth of comics post-Crisis?
Post-Crisis.
It includes post-Crisis, New 52.
Okay, post-Crisis onward.
Rebirth, and the other stuff.
Post-Crisis onward. Got it.
But I'm going to start, honestly, with JJheat. So tell me, what are some of your favorite modern DC stories?
Okay. Kingdom Come, Blackest Night, Flashpoint, the one that ended up getting an animated movie called Superman versus the Elite. I can't remember the name right now. Are we counting strictly DC?
Yeah, strictly DC.
Yeah.
Okay. Deceased, pretty good. It was spotty at places, but it was salvageable. Dark Knights of Steel, it's basically Game of Thrones but DC characters, but still it was better than season 8, so I'll give them that. But cheap dig right there. New 52 had potential. Yeah. New 52, it's just poor management. That's really
the
Achilles
heel. Be careful what you say, JJheat.
Like I said, it was a slap in the face to those who committed time and emotional investment and money because of how abrupt it was.
No. Oh, well, here's the thing. It still exists. You could still go read the comics. That's my whole thing about the whole. And by Talati, you were correct, but it's like regardless of if people don't like reboots. Here's the thing: it still exists. You can still read the comic. By the way, so look what I picked up. Speaking of Flashpoint, hey, what's up, Nix? Ugh, the Flashpoint omnibus,
dude.
Oh.
So this has
Show the edge.
every single Flashpoint tie-in and the series in there. Oh, you want
You're
to see
in for a wild
you want to see a
ride, man.
larger book? You want to see a larger book?
Dude, that's a big book. That's like a Harry Potter style book. I'm just saying.
Final Crisis. Look at how much stuff this collects.
There is a reason Grant Morrison does not work exclusively for DC. This is it. This is why.
This is it. It's really fun. See, here's the thing with the tie-ins for this particularly. If you just read the series, you can get away with it.
Daniel.
Yes,
Roll the
exactly.
clip. Roll
Yeah.
the clip. He's earned it.
Do I have that? Do I have that?
Yes.
I should have that clip. No, unfortunately, I don't have it in my thing right now.
Oh
But,
God.
you paid for shipping. Wait, hold on, that's a big book. Yeah, exactly. Well, it's mostly Amazon. That book could be used as a lethal weapon. Hell yeah, it can. But
Quick disclaimer: we do not condone
out.
excessive violence on this channel.
What's cool about this, and I'm about halfway through, because what I do, because I've read all the main stories, I just skip whenever it goes to the actual Final Crisis series and just keep reading all the tie-ins, which you don't realize. So the first thing that happens in this book is Apocalypse starts kidnapping minor heroes and making them fight in a gladiatorial pit. Like, you have Ravager, you have actually at a certain point Starfire, you have Ms. Martian in a gladiatorial pit battling and being taken over by the anti-life equation, and you start to see like the whole it makes more sense when you read the tie-ins. Somehow Final Crisis makes more sense. It's not $30, it's a lot more.
It's more than
No,
30
the shipping
bucks.
fee is at least $30.
The
Well,
shipping is.
I had
Yeah.
Amazon Prime, so that was free. When did that happen to Final Crisis? Literally, the beginning of the actual book of the omnibus starts with that, because that was the Teen Titans and then Terra Titans tie-in to Final Crisis. It was the lead up. It was
And the
essentially
less said
the
about
lead up.
Countdown, the better.
Yeah, this does not include Amazon's Attack, JJheat's favorite Wonder Woman story.
Actually, no, we're not entertaining that.
Yes, we are. Yes, we
Okay.
are.
Do you
But
mind if I give?
yeah,
do you
go
mind
ahead.
if I
Go ahead.
give my list of modern. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead,
My
Claudia,
favorite
go ahead.
modern
Hey.
comics.
And what's up, Dave? And yes, Yaira's pretty good. Go ahead, Jay. The Claudia.
So my favorite comics so far, obviously, I'm reading just Super Action Comics New 52. I really am digging Kingdom Come, because obviously that is a really good comic to read. I finished All Star Superman, would you believe, and I really enjoyed it. For a self-contained comic, that's another comic I like.
Mhm.
I really dug. I'm digging New 52 Justice League, as we're covering at Snyder Fans Read Comics. I'm really digging it. I'm also interested in what's that one with Superboy Prime?
Infinite Crisis.
Infinite
That's
Crisis.
the one.
That's the one where he punches reality. How far back do you consider modern? The rules for this discussion is anything from Crisis on Infinite Earths to now. I know it's a lot, but it's because that's generally what's considered the modern era of DC.
So like I like that, and obviously I love Batman, the Batman series from Grant Morrison, Scott Snyder's work.
Yes.
Now the
That
Grant
is-
Morrison run was solid. You can't take that away. Take that from them. The Grant Morrison run on Batman
Could
was
have
great.
introduced Damian better.
Yeah, that's the one point I take away.
So for me,
No,
I'm gonna try and oh yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say Charles is not from 1993. It's before 1993.
Before 1993, because Crisis was like
5.
85. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
85.
So 85 to now, basically.
Yeah. In terms of for me, Superman, Wonder Woman, obviously. Justice
course.
League by Jeff Johns. Justice League by Brad Meltzer going into Dwayne McDuffie. That's terrific run. Green Lantern by Jeff Johns, obviously.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman by George Perez. Wonder Woman by
Charles
Jimenez, by Phil Jimenez.
Yeah.
I already said Charles Sewell, and that's Superman, Wonder Woman. He never wrote just Wonder Woman. Grant Morrison Action Comics. Absolutely nothing by Tom King. Grant Morrison Batman, because for the most part I liked it, even though Ledge Strange and new for that too.
Mm-hmm.
Dark Knight Returns, Aquaman. You got to go with Aquaman, and in terms of so there's and Yaira, because I very much enjoyed Yaira. In terms of Gail Simone, here's the thing. She's a very overrated writer. When you look into what she actually puts in there, it's very questionable. Like Cameron says, my favorite Superman book, which is unfortunately blanking on me, is the one with Chris Kent, who should have stayed. That one is I think it's called Son of Superman, JJheat. What's the one with Chris Kent?
I want to say Son of Superman, or it could have been. I know it wasn't Son of Zod. I would have to look it up.
Actually, so let me see. It is Last Son of Krypton, I think.
Last Son of Krypton. That was it.
Yeah,
that was it.
Yeah, because I was about to say, because I actually have that story, but okay, so Superman Last Son. Okay, that works. That's a good one. But yeah, Gail Simone, I think, is like very. It's very curious that no one mentions any comics from this decade. There's a reason for that.
There's a reason for that.
There's a very good reason for that. Now, in terms of my least favorite comics, so let's do that. Let's do our least favorite comics of modern DC. So I'm going to start with Tom King's Wonder Woman, Tom King's Batman, second half because it kind of went downhill. Anything by Peter J. Tomasi that's not Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Anything by John Byrne or Jurgens.
Yeah.
Probably in terms of DC, probably again anything in Rebirth that's not like Green Lantern, probably. But Dave says Sandman by Neil Gaiman, good choice. That started the DC universe with a lot of crossovers before becoming standalone Vertigo. Yep, that's a good one. All right, now JJheat, least favorite DC comics, go.
Least favorite, okay. Countdown, most of the New 52, Adam Glass Teen Titans.
Watch it, JJheat.
Be careful what he'll remove it from the stream, he won't come back on.
What did you think I was going to add?
No, because you said most of the new.
I said New 52, most of New 52. Okay, and that includes Teen Titans. That includes Teen Titans. That also includes Future's End, Convergence. Even if it was the climax of the Earth 2 saga, doesn't change the fact that it had a crappy ending.
Mm-hmm.
All of DCYOU, let's be honest, even if it was only a couple of months, a lot of it was awful. What's another one?
You forgot Amazon's Attack.
Both versions. I don't care. Both versions. Future State, Dark Crisis.
Future State should have been in Elseworlds. I think it would have worked better if it was in Elseworlds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could have still done that.
What else have you got, JJheat?
By the way, Dave says Starman from James Robinson is another of his 90s favorites, another of DC's greatest runs. I will check that out, Dave. I will definitely check that out.
Does anyone remember a certain Dark Crisis Young Justice?
Oh, God.
Get him out, because that really does nothing.
Why did you say that name?
Brian Michael Bendis is Megan Fitzmartin's Tim Drake Robin.
Fun fact: Fitzmartin also wrote the Justice League Ruby crossover movie, which was not bad, honestly.
You said least
Get him
least
out
DC
of there.
Comics. I'm giving you what you want.
No, but you mentioned the name. Superman do nope. That was a good one.
Yep.
My least favorite is when, for some reason, DC decided it would be a good thing for Damon to be on Tim's Teen Titans.
That was just that was a mini arc that only lasted a couple of issues. Like, are we talking about the one before the New 52 or after? Please clarify, Cameron Bailey, because in the Jeff Johns run, Damian was only there for a couple of issues.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do you mind if I do my list?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead,
dude.
Rebirth Superman, Super Sons. Also the ending of New 52, the ending part where they kills New 52 Superman.
Oh, Last Days of Superman. Okay.
Yeah. I also Doomsday Clock, Rebirth Wonder Woman. The death metal storyline wasn't that brilliant. I would also say, what else is there? Tom Taylor's Son of Kal-El book, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also, another one is definitely I would have to put up there is the horrible My Adventures of Superman, Jonathan Kent book.
Now,
you mean the Son of Kal-El, right?
Basically, Injustice 1.
Oh, that sucked. What a wasted opportunity you had there. You had a layup. In terms of bad runs, I usually forget them. Unfortunately, bad runs are the norm today, not the exception. Yeah.
And the He Who Must Not Be Named, his book too, from Action 1000.
Really, anything.
Wait, Warner Brothers licensed a Voldemort comic?
Really, anything He Who Must Not Be Named touched at DC can be thrown straight in the garbage bin.
Make sure you don't fall off your chair.
Yeah, I'd hate to see it. Whoa! Both pissed me off, but it was definitely Rebirth that made me stop comics for 4 years. Legit.
Okay, Benjamin Percy's run wasn't bad. It was mostly DeCamus synergy, but the Adam Glass run, there was no saving that. I will give you
definitely Super Sons. That's the top of my list.
Yeah, I read it.
It wasn't bad, but it wasn't bad.
I reviewed it on Tevia's channel. The thing is, and I'm sorry, Tevia, I'm going to be honest with you, it was boring. It's not my cup of tea. It's not the book that I enjoyed. It's not my thing. That's just personally me. I'm not a fan of it. There's a reason why I've never covered it outside of it.
Yeah,
it's basically World's Finest mixed with Hunter x Hunter.
Because the other reason why is that John's existence makes no sense because Kryptonians and humans are incompatible.
I'm pretty sure. Now, granted, it's been a while since I read Convergence, but I believe the official explanation for it was Clark, because of that other dimension, Clark was depowered at the time.
His DNA is still Kryptonian.
Hey, I'm just going by what the official print. The
official print is stupid.
Okay, I'll say this. This is my last one. Then we'll switch gears, I think.
Yeah. Then we'll do a Q&A, I think. Let's do a Q&A.
Yeah. I'll say this, right? Another thing is Convergence. I didn't like, and the fact also I didn't like the Superman and Lois, the one with the alternate Superman in the New 52 world.
Oh, you mean Coward Superman?
Coward Superman, yeah, that one I didn't like either. I know that's
that comic. Yeah, I don't even think it made 35,000.
It made 30,000. Here's the funny part. So supposedly, that's what the fans on Twitter said. This is what we want, DC. We don't want Superman, Wonder Woman, which every Taladia.
Yeah.
Every copy of that book, including the crappy Tomasi version, sold more than than Coward Superman. That should tell you something. If that's what the fans wanted, that book should not have sold 30,000.
To tell you what also sold out, Dragon Ball Super sold more copies than the the Superman and
Because
Lois
actually,
book.
it's kind of funny. Britt told me, you know what Superman also does in that? He hangs out with his family while a tornado is going to let the tornado destroy places.
Yeah, exactly. Even
Coward. That's not Superman, and that's supposed to be real Superman. That's a coward.
the Coward Superman book didn't outsell even the mangas. Let's just say that, right? Even
I
Jay
would
he
say
can,
an easy fix would be because it's a new reality. Clark's powers would vary differently.
They didn't
but
say that though.
they didn't say that though. Jay
that
he
would be
he
an
said-
easy
said
fix, though. Like I said, going by the official print, that would have been an easy fix.
Jay
And by the way, it
he-
makes sense. It makes sense that it should be a boring ass comic that makes no sense. You know who wrote it? Dan Jurgens.
no.
I say this because, and by the way, again, One Trick Pony. He's referencing the death of Superman. He's in the black suit.
Yeah, exactly. And Jay, you can confirm this with me, right?
Sure.
The Dragon Ball Super manga actually outsold, I would say, the Superman and
That's not a high bar, but technically,
Manga
yeah.
always outsells DC. What are you talking about?
Manga outsells the big two in spades.
So I'm just saying, regardless. So
That's- They're branded under graphic novels, but at least in the US, they're consolidated within graphic novels. I don't know how they're categorized in the UK.
And Tevia, even if he did say that in the comic, real Superman would find a way. I'm sorry, if this were the real Superman, he would not be cowering in a tornado shelter while a tornado kills people. I'm
Okay.
sorry, no, he is guilty of manslaughter by not doing anything. He is guilty of inaction. No wonder Prime Universe Batman hated him.
Okay.
But anyway, let's go to our Q&A. Let's go to our Q&A.
Transition.
Ask us any questions you guys want, not including John Kent. Anything like that. Let's go.
It can be gaming. It can be movies. It could be TV shows.
Yeah, let's see. You guys want to talk about the Wonder Woman game? If you guys want to talk
Anything
about,
you guys want.
if you guys
WB
want to talk
Montreal.
about the reveal that Harley Quinn is going to be in a relationship with Renee Montoya and Batman, the Cape Crusader. Yes, Jay.
Wait,
Yes, that came out. Harley Quinn is going to be in a relationship with Renee Montoya.
Jared, Taladia, I wanted to make this perfectly clear to everyone watching tonight. I thought that was a joke.
Nope, that is real, dude.
He's gonna fall off his chair any minute.
The justification from Mr. Batman belongs with Batgirl.
He's fucked up.
Just walked off. This is why I do this, ladies and gents. This is why I do this. Watch if he just stays there the entire. Yes, Cameron. Cameron.
Somebody clip that, please, so we can send.
It's Nix's personal hell. It's Nix's. I love he's still gone.
We have to make that as a clip for.
That's gonna be JJheat's entrance clip whenever he enters the stream. That's gonna be great. But I'm gonna pull it up so I can read to you guys what's said here, because oh boy, is it fascinating. So JJheat, here is what Mr. Bruce Timm said about this pairing. He says she will have more normal romantic relationship with the Gotham City detective Renee Montoya, which tempers her more vicious side as Harley Quinn. Montoya is a by-the-book, honest cop who doesn't know her girlfriend's secret underground life, and her integrity is the one thing that gives Harley Quinn pause about her actions. However, she also doesn't see Montoya and law enforcement in general as effective tools for dealing with the wrongdoer she uncovered. But again, it's in the 40s, yes, but
the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde aspect is fascinating, don't get me wrong. But an easy fix would just be to have I get you don't want to take too much spotlight away from Batman, but this is one of the main reasons you have Batwoman to begin with.
Well, even that, it even got revealed a while back that Harley Quinn as Harley Quinn is going to be the more serious persona, and Harleen Quinzel is going to be the more uppity persona.
Never thought I'd hear that.
Yeah, stupid. Tavia asked, question, how do you guys feel about Zeb Wells' Spider-Man run coming to an end?
Thank God! Where's that Joker clip when you need it? Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
I have honestly a really good one actually. This was my This is a live view, as a matter of fact, of my reaction to finding out that the Zeb Wells run was ending. And Cameron, correct me if I'm wrong, JHeat, but Kate protects Gotham as well, right?
Yes, they're all together now.
That's part of the problem with like every team having a family, because like, why does everyone commit crimes? Nix, if you want to join us and express your thoughts, I asked you if you want to. Okay, yeah, she wants to join, so I'll send you a link, Nix. I'll send you a link.
While we're waiting on Nix for the epic rant that is about to follow.
Oh boy.
Oh, this is gonna be good. Keep it PG, Nix. That's all I ask. That's all I ask, my friend. I sent you a link.
Okay, I
keep it PG.
Okay, this could go one or two ways. This show,
ladies and gentlemen, Miss Nix. Hello. So Nix, tell us how you feel. Tell us how you feel.
PG.
Well, first of all, thank God Zeb Wells is off the book. God has answered our prayers.
Cameron's like, Nix, rant.
Second of all, Harley Quinn with Renee Montoya makes absolutely no sense.
As does most of the things Bruce Timm does.
Oh, my
no
gosh.
bar even for you, Jared. Too soon. Too soon.
Can you blame me after this, JHeat?
It's low-hanging fruit, man.
Go on, Nix.
First of all, if it's set in the 40s, then they can't have a quote-unquote normal lesbian relationship. That wouldn't be possible. They'd have to keep it on the down low because it's the 40s. That kind of stuff just didn't fly.
Tell that to Jim Sheridan's Alan Scott.
No, JHeat.
I had to.
JHeat. She's not wrong. She's not wrong. It's a period piece.
It's the other problem with having Jim Gordon be an African American, because there's no way back then an African American would be the police commissioner.
So Jim Gordon is not in the show.
No, he's in the show.
He's in the show, but he's African American. He is not the normal Jim
in
Gordon.
the 40s, JHeat. What?
So are they just copying the Batman?
Pretty much. But JHeat, in the 40s. Okay. Go ahead, Nix.
Please, Nix, continue, please.
In the Batman, it was fine because, one, it's not set at a time when was most racist, homophobic era of our, like, history, essentially. Well, modern era.
Mm-hmm.
You want to get technical. But, like, also, it didn't matter in the Batman because the actor was pretty good in his role.
Yeah, I ain't gonna take that away from him.
Yeah. But, like, in this movie set in the 40s, why... I get it, you're trying to be progressive, but there are some things that just don't work. And this is kind of just one of those things that wouldn't work.
Hold on, I just want to look something up. Is Tim Sheridan one of the showrunners on this?
No. You know who is, though?
Oh, I had a whole joke prepared.
J.J. Abrams. You could say he needs to get lost.
Why do you have to say that, Nick?
I know. Oh. By the way, Nick, ranting about the Batman, if you want to rejoin, the link should be in the Comics League chat.
But Jared, I got something to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
Super.
Okay, so anyway, he's not coming back.
He's not coming back.
But like,
watch it.
also,
what I was going to say.
Watch it. I know you, sir. Go ahead, Nix.
Why is her costume green and yellow? First of all, it doesn't look good.
She's a big fan of pea soup. That's why.
Oh god. But like, Harley's most iconic colors are the red and black. Second after that are the pink and blue. Mm-hmm. Why would you go completely off-brand and be like, you know what Harley needs to wear? This garish, ugly green and yellow costume.
Because I guess a period piece. I hate to cut you off, Nix. I guess Robin wouldn't be practical in this setting. So like,
I guess.
But I get you want some kind of Robin reference, because of the iconography of the character. I understand that. But Harley was a poor choice. Any version of Harley was a poor choice. I mean, the color scheme is off. The Dr. Jekyll theme is fine and dandy, but I next, please continue because
It's just
You're gonna
it
go on a tangent.
baffles me. It's absolutely baffling. You take this character who's been beloved for years specifically because she's a fun, funny, tragic character. And she's very interesting. What made her interesting was that she was likable and bouncy and funny. And you had her in this tragic situation. And a lot of women drew strength from that. And you turned her into the complete opposite of what she was. And you're like, yeah, this is our new take on Harley. And if you don't like it, you're a bigot.
emotional
It doesn't
investment
work.
can be a marketing tool, but shipping alone can only get you so far, and it brings out the worst in your fandom.
It
I
really
know from
does.
experience.
Anyway,
But
I don't mind that she's a villain. I'm happy that they're taking her back to her villainous roots. I just
are
wish
they really, Nix? Because here's the thing. Remember, the Harley Quinn personality is going to be the more serious one.
that's true.
I'm like,
Well,
why? You're literally taking what's important about the character. It's not important. Well, yeah, it is. But what's iconic about the character, and you're saying throw it away.
Exactly.
Daniel.
It's not because Bruce Timm co-created the freaking character.
I will say this though. I will say it. Say what you will about Bruce Timm, BTAS, Wonderbat. Say all that. Say what you will. But at least in that aspect, if you were going to actually factor Batman Beyond, they needed a reason why the Bat family broke up. So Bruce Timm just made something up that was organic. That was relatively
not
organic.
JJheat.
I meant in terms of Barbara's one-sided attraction. Please let me
That
cook,
was
sir.
not. No, that was not organic. That was
Let
not.
me
Don't
cook, sir.
give him any props. Don't give him any props.
Either
All
you
I'm
die,
traitor.
saying is,
wait, I gotta say this. Either you die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become
You know what
the
I
villain.
need? I need the clip of the Stormtrooper from The Force Awakens when he goes, traitor! I'll be spamming that with JHeat.
if you please let me finish.
Go
All I was
ahead.
saying, thank you. All I was saying was Barbara being smitten with Bruce was set up very early on in BTAS. Bruce realistically would never act on it, but is what Bruce Timm ultimately used to justify the Bat family breaking up and beyond. That's all I'm saying. At least there was some setup there. This
Sadly.
makes no bloody sense.
Oh,
Thank you
God,
for
Jay.
sent yourself. The other thing I want to add in here, for a little thing that I want to get your guys' opinion on. So we got some look at the Superman set, and in the newspaper photos, we got another look at the suit.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh God.
Oh.
Oh,
What the hell is this?
the
It's
Drake
Grease.
suit looks better than this. God.
This is
Granted,
just
it's because it
unfortunate.
has it's through a newspaper thing, but it looked one of my largest problems looking at this. And what's up, Nick? How you doing? Is the belt is too thick.
yeah.
What the
Nick.
hell is
Thank
up with
you.
this suit? It seems that no matter when he reveals this, it looks horrendous.
What in the cinnamon fresh hell is this crap?
Yeah, look at the belt. Look at how thick that belt is.
Hi, Tevya.
My eyes.
It looks so bad, and I'm like, no, this is what's gonna save DC.
Also, I just want to say, chat, you did not disappoint. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks.
But-
Thanks, chat. We don't-
It's the problem with this. I don't get it. But this is how bad the suit is. You know what's kind of funny? Yes, I'm going to compare this to Snyder. Because no matter what angle you looked at any of those Superman suits, they looked, fantastic.
The costume design was
when,
immaculate.
well,
I
when
will
you
give
com-
you
well,
that,
when you
Jared.
compare it to perfection, everything else looks bad by comparison.
It
Go on,
really
JHeat,
does.
what were you saying?
You had solid say what you will about the DC EU writing wise, but at least you had solid comic costume design. Excuse me. You had solid costume design. I won't take that away from you, Jared. I won't.
All right,
But-
Jared, I have a question for you. Oh, sorry, did he finish your stuff?
This just feels like this came right out of the CW budget.
That's
No,
what it
don't
seems
you
like.
don't you disrespect the CW Superman suit is actually legit good.
So, well, here's the thing. Yes, exactly. Look at the Superman and Lois suit. Let me put it this way. Look at Superman and Lois. I may have my small, very minuscule critiques of that show.
And
The
nitpick.
suit looks great, particularly
All right, I have
nowadays.
a question for
It
you,
took them
Jared.
a second until. Yeah, go ahead, Nick.
All right, which suit do you think is better, this suit or the Superman Returns Brennan Ralph suit?
Superman
Ooh.
Returns Brendan Ralph.
Ooh.
Superman Returns
Yeah.
Brendan Ralph.
3D
That
look,
one had
3D
Kingdom Come
3D
vibes
shields,
to
everything.
it. That one had a
3D
Kingdom
shields and
Come
everything.
aesthetic to it.
I would rather have that. No, he's talking about the Superman Returns, not the Kingdom Come one.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
but still.
I gotta say, even that suit looks
That
better
suit is
compared to.
that suit is flawless. He should have just gone with that. That would have worked.
Yeah, literally
And
just like, hey, CW, can I borrow the suit? I'm gonna use it in the movie.
Exactly. And Bit Bigger Center said Margot Robbie has done irreparable damage to Harley's design. Yeah, because she was all about like, I don't want the sexiness for Harley Quinn. And I'm like,
Yuck.
That's
you're
kind of the
playing
point.
a character in a male-centric
Brand.
demographic show, and you're playing a female character that part of her charm is she uses her body.
Also,
You should have done more
Dave
research
Taylor.
into the character.
Highlight Dave's comment, please.
Dave says Lois and Clark. Oh yes,
Like,
Lois
I'm
and
sorry,
Clark yeah, go ahead.
Tom Welling's The Blur suit, where it's literally just a leather jacket with the S on it, looks better than this.
That
This
would
is
have
gonna
been
be
cool.
like- by the way, we are inventing a new meme. This is the equivalent of still a better love story than Twilight. Still a better suit than Guns.
You know it's hilarious. The way that looked, I thought for a second there. That's why. So what I posted when I put in the co-host chat, I thought it was the. I thought we were seeing a flashback picture of like Superman in the t-shirt and jeans from Grant Morrison's Action Comics, but no, that's the actual.
Still a better suit than Guns.
Still
Sorry,
a better suit than Guns.
I'm trying to
The
make this
t-shirt-
a thing.
That's the thing. That I'll tell you what, Nick. That'll be a drop that will actually make. That'll be a drop that will actually make. Can you
No, this is
draw
not, we're
your
creating a meme. Still a better suit than Guns.
Can you draw your preferred suit for Soups? Can be redesigns and show us next stream. I'm curious. I'm not that good of a drawer, but we can see what we can do. That'd be fun. Except Schumacher's Batman had better suits. That is true,
Daniel,
though.
Come on.
He
Okay,
had a
he's
reason.
doing this. All right, Bat Nipples. Still a better suit than Guns.
Well, at least with that, he had a legitimate reason for that. This suit just looks crappy for no reason. Here's the problem. For a movie that's supposed to be one of the most important DC movies ever, that is going to determine the fate of DC films, I'm not seeing a lot of effort being put in.
Maybe James
Nuclear
Gunn can
Man-
borrow the Bat
Nuclear
credit
Man's
card.
costume. Still a better suit than Guns.
Destroy
Thank you.
Superman now.
Thank you. Thank you.
Uh,
I may take an L every now and then, but I always bounce back.
Nuclear Man. You could say Gunn is on the quest for peace.
oh God!
You guys
oh, God.
think
Nick,
he's
please pause.
Right,
Well
too hard
played,
to have-
sir. Well
Yes.
played.
Yes. Wait, what was
Yes.
the reason for the bat nipples? What Schumacher said is he wanted it to emulate Greek statues, like of the Greek gods. That's
Like,
the
you made it
reason.
like
that-
There's
Yeah,
an
go ahead.
intention there.
Yeah, I'm like, there's a legitimate reason for that because as I've always said,
Nick
and
was
as
saying
said
something I
before,
interrupted her, by the way.
as has been said before, comic books are like modern day mythology. So I appreciate at least he was trying to emulate that. But next, what do you want to say?
I was gonna say to Cameron's comment, yes, DC has tried way too hard to make Harley into their version of Deadpool, and it has greatly affected her character negatively.
Mm-hmm. And
DC has a Deadpool character. It's called Ambush Bug.
or it's
Yeah.
also called Red Tool. Yes, they actually have a
Ah.
character named Red Tool who is DC's Deadpool.
And he kidnapped
didn't
Harley
he?
once.
Didn't he appear in the Harley Quinn run? It was and back in Rebirth and was never
Yes.
seen again.
Yes.
Dave the Impaler says
Exactly.
Gunn always leads into the absurdity of superhero costumes, but it doesn't work for Superman because Superman shouldn't be seen as a joke. Well, that's
By
what
the
they're
way-
going back into.
I'm really afraid for Brave and the Bold because I feel like Gunn is going to try and get him into the Zenora suit.
Oh no!
You know Zeraral is right up his alley. That is
Because
like,
He
here's the
won't be able to
problem
help
with that.
himself. He will not be able to help himself. I can tell you
Because
that right now.
here's the problem with that. Here's on that, Nick. He did one of the comics that he referenced. The comics that he referenced for Brave and the Bold are the Grant Morrison Batman comics.
but he can always
Oh,
his mind.
Mm-hmm. I'm just,
Which will break first, your mind or
or
your
your
body?
body. Boosh.
With gun,
Ashton
it's his
says-
mind because it breaks every 5 minutes.
Yeah, Ashton says, I love how DC has one of the coolest mythos in comics with new gods and does Jack with all of them. I know, right?
Yeah.
Where's the New Gods animated series and movie? There was supposed to be a movie, but Warner Brothers canceled it and blamed the Snyder Cut.
Hey, so if they do make a New Gods movie, can they please not make the suit green or animated? What did you guys
Yeah.
do for like the hour I was gone? Like seriously.
Well, we talked about comics. We talked about the Penguin trailer. We talked about DC sales collapsing. We did talk about modern comics.
Well, it's
there's
okay. I'm here to rescue the stream. It's all good.
Whatever. Is there still a possibility that gun suits will be like the? Yes, that's what he's going off of. This is what happens. This is why I am 100%. This is why I say if you have worked on Marvel projects, you are banned from DC because you take the same Marvel sensibilities and apply them to DC. It ceases to be DC.
I'm
And
sorry,
Sevi,
though.
to answer your question, that's basically MK 2008. MK versus DC.
I would trust Jon Favreau with the DC project.
Nope, still wouldn't. Anyone that has touched DC, because I got news for you. What works for Marvel is not going to work for DC. That's just the way it works.
Given how he did Star Wars, I could totally see Favreau doing a great Green Lantern.
He could pull it off.
He and Favreau Marvelized Star Wars.
Well, the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian were good.
You're probably
like
better
this
off
way.
with Favreau at Star Trek because they could use the momentum.
Look at it this way. I could see him doing something with Green Lantern. That's what I could see. I love Morrison's Batman, but we're working exactly. And he's the type that will go for the Zur-En-Arrh Batman because he'll be like, "Oh, it's so great! I remember reading that comic." But I'm like, here's the problem with James Gunn. Here's my issue with him. He's treating this too much like a comic book fan and not what as a general audience member. Because here's the problem. Like we have said in the chat, I love my chat, by the way. What works in the general audience? Yes, I know. What works in the comic books will not always translate well to the general to the movies. That's why the underwear looks stupid.
I would say it worked for a time. Like, I think Reeves, it was fine, especially during the time it was made.
Yes.
You will believe a man can fly.
Oh, they certainly did, Nick. Thank you. But like, I think as far as like Reeves and like the 80s, it's fine. But once you get to the 2000s, because I know Dean Cain's suit had the trunks and it looked okay. But I think once you get to the 2000s, that's when the trunks really kind of got a little.
Yeah, the ultimate DC villain, Darkseid. That's DC villain and James Gunn. Question: why would James Gunn have Zur-En-Arrh in a movie? Because it sounds like a bad idea. Because James Gunn likes all the absurd stuff from comics.
Oh wait, guys, I got something.
Ready the Almata. We will use the Hamada way.
Yeah, because here's the problem with the DC. Here's the problem because it's like if I try to explain to general audience members the idea that Batman has a backup operating system in his brain that is designed to take over if Batman should ever be compromised, they're gonna be like, "What?"
Jared, you know that is a crazy enough story that Gunn will try to find and make it work. Probably won't succeed, but he's going to try.
Yeah,
Honestly,
and that's the issue. Yeah, go ahead, Nick.
Bonus points if you can make a musical number.
I kind of don't really like the fact that that's everyone's go-to for Zur-En-Arrh because, and this is probably kind of a hot take, I like the original from the Silver Age. More or less, I think I like the Batman Brave and the Bold episode based on it because it was clever and it was cute and it kind of made Batman Zur-En-Arrh into like a Batman, but he's kind of sort of Superman. And
An
it's like an
inversion
amalgamation.
of Batman and Superman together. That's basically
Yeah.
the premise of R&R.
They had Kevin Conroy voicing him, and you get to
There
see
you go.
what Kevin Conroy's voice work would have been for Clark if he'd done Superman instead of Batman. And it's good. The whole story actually is really good.
A hot take, but why should we take in the general audience? Because there's not enough comic book fans to make these movies as successful as the studios want. If there were, you wouldn't think about it.
Like, I'm
Sadly.
sorry, you think these movies get to $1 billion with just super fans alone? No.
No.
Like for example, Avatar is $1 billion because of normies.
Sadly.
Yeah, because the general audience determines how successful it is. When you cater too much to comic book fans, look at what happens. You don't do that. Why do you think Gunn is? What do you think is Gunn's biggest mistake with marketing this universe? Going so hard into nostalgia and talking to people online. He should. And here's the thing. And also here's the thing. So someone says interesting about it online. The problem with Gunn constantly debunking everything that comes out is that he's taking away the fun of like theorizing what this could be, of speculating. He's taking away that fun.
Nope.
Yeah.
Like,
Say what you will about say what you will about whether or not you want to just pick and choose or start a new cast. Say what you will, but first of all, regardless of the Black Adam disaster, although nothing was never officially signed as we know of, there was at least a proposal for Henry Cavill to be cast. It could have Men of Steel 2 could have just been a standalone Elseworld project that would have gave some closure and built up the momentum while your new universe was starting. There was a workaround, but instead, I don't know if it was because James Gunn wanted to put his stamp on everything or a blight of hubris or a combination of the two, but he really tanked the DC brand worse than it's ever been.
Yeah.
And Tevi asked, I don't see it making billion. In order to be successful, I think this movie has to make at least the amount of Man of Steel.
It needs to make Man of Steel numbers. That's the end.
If it doesn't make Man of Steel numbers, I honestly don't see them going along with it.
It will just do two things. It will just do the Superman film.
Yeah.
And Creature Commandos. I don't see anything beyond that. If it doesn't.
And really, here's the other thing. And here's the other thing that's convenient. Mm-hmm. James Gunn's contract expires right when Superman released. So you got to imagine Zaslav, assuming he's still in charge. If Superman comes out, it doesn't perform well, and then with all that, when Gunn has promised this would perform well, you got to imagine he's going to tell Gunn, you're not the head of DC Studios anymore. I can't trust your leadership.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not, because here's the thing. Zaslav is one of those guys that if you're not making him enough money now, you're not going to do it. So, Brown says $400 million average best. Best guess?
It'll do more than Black Adam because it's a Superman.
No, he said he said at the very most best. No.
I could see it making
maybe 700 million.
500 million.
600 to 700 million is my guess.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know if you guys know about this, but Zeb Wells is actually credited as one of the writers of Wolverine and Deadpool.
No.
But he has other writers to check him, so it's not that much of an issue.
Yeah, but still.
Why they're saying Vanessa's not with Wade anymore?
Britt said it won't make Man of Steel numbers. I feel that WB has the bar set low, though. Well, they can't do that because they have shareholders. When you have Zaslav saying Gunn is on a mission from God, his words, not mine, you got to imagine that the actual, what's the words? That the shareholders are going to be pretty pissed if this comes out and it makes flash numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So honestly, I'm with Britt. Honestly, I don't see this Superman movie being as successful as people think it is. Because here's the problem with it as well. This is why I would have started the universe with a Batman movie, whether or not we fold in Matt Reeves or just go with Brave and the Bold. Because Superman's IP is not as strong as Batman. He can't hold an entire universe on his back. You can't start an entire universe on Superman.
But also the same thing to realize is Superman may not be as strong as Batman, but it's still a very strong IP.
No,
And neglected IP. That is true.
arguably, it has taken many more hits recently, so I wouldn't exactly hold that
My
up.
goodness.
I
Yeah.
mean, Superman still has the name recognition. Like
It
he's
does,
not-
but
I feel
Nick,
like you're kind of portraying as like some D tier character. He may be the lowest of the A tier characters, but he's still an A tier character.
of that,
That's arguably
by
Wonder
that
Woman, but
logic,
that's not
Superman
even more.
Returns just should have made more than it did.
But what I'm saying is yes, Superman is less than Batman. Yes, it has taken a hit, but it is still an iconic property. You ask literally anybody in the United States, they will have heard of Superman.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that Superman's IP is still iconic. It doesn't mean it's big enough. It doesn't mean it's a strong enough IP to be as successful as what Warner Brothers wants it to be.
My argument is it has an uphill battle because look at like Man of Steel still did good numbers even with the problems
Notice it wasn't labeled Superman, and it was with a larger name director than James Gunn.
He's got you there, Nick.
Because everyone was
that just supports my argument. The right movie with the right creative team, Superman is not the problem. It's the people behind the camera, i.e. Gunn.
Well, actually, here's the other thing. Man of Steel was not called Superman. It was called Man of Steel.
Man of Steel.
I'm not really sure if that's a factor or not, because they still use the Superman iconography all over.
Well, yeah, because it's actually a Superman movie, but they didn't call it. That's the thing.
They were following the Dark Knight trend. They were following the Dark Knight trend. Because you had Batman Begins and you had the Dark Knight, the Man of Steel. And Christopher Nolan produced the film, so what do you expect?
Yeah, understood. Have you seen? Yeah, we're going over that right now, Brown. It doesn't look good.
What I'm saying is, Man of Steel was made in the shadow of the Dark Knight films.
Yeah, I understand that. And the last thing that makes me think this movie's not going to be as successful as WB thinks it is that every time they reveal stuff about it in terms of the suit and everything, it flopped. So I'm like,
they're definitely not making good calls.
Yeah. So really, ultimately, because here's the thing. Yes, it could be the greatest movie in the world. It could be a fantastic movie, to be clear. But if it keeps having these bad first impressions, no one's going to go see it, even if it's good. Because here's the thing. We had this with Blue Beetle. No one saw Blue Beetle. But then when they saw it when it was on Max, they were like, this is a fantastic movie.
I mean, I thought it was okay. Like, it was like, sorry.
Yeah, I know, regardless of that. But I'm saying people that actually saw it thought, and at least enjoyed it. So they're like, okay, this is actually enjoyable. At this point, Superman has as much pull as Ryan. No, he has more pull than Green Lantern. He has more pull than Green Lantern. But okay. So, do you guys think it would be a good idea for WWE to do what Marvel does and license their? No. That arguably hampered Marvel because that's why we couldn't get an X-Men movie, and that's why it's so hard to get a good Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, everything is in-house with Warner Brothers.
Yeah, Marvel did that all in the 90s, and they're still dealing with the ramifications of it today.
What I will say, if the DCU fails, I could see WB selling off the movie rights and just cutting their losses and saying, we're done with DC. Because they would have failed twice. So, but anyway.
Yeah, I could literally see the Netflix exec, he walks onto the set of Rebel Moon Part 15. Because in 5 years he's going to be there.
Yeah.
And he says, "Hey Zach, can we go somewhere private?" And he opens a box, and it's just a Superman logo.
We've heard this story before. Tevye says, question, speaking of Blue Beetle, how do you feel about the movie getting an animated series?
Weird.
The very fact that Blue Beetle is getting a DCU project before Wonder Woman
is concerning.
WW1984, Jared.
No, but regardless, and I want to remind you of something. When Zaslav was highlighting DC as a brand, he says we have the most iconic characters in the world. We have Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman.
And she doesn't even use her.
She doesn't get anything except for a Game of Thrones style series, which is not going to come out, by the way, because it doesn't even have anything associated with DC in the titling. So people can be like, what the hell is Paradise Lost?
Okay, I have a. Sorry, go ahead.
If you put Wonder Woman Paradise Lost, that would be something, even though Diana does not show up in that freaking series because they're idiots.
It's basically a
The
prequel. If the DC,
fact.
let me cook. Just let me cook. If the DCU goes as planned, they're gonna use this prequel show, to capitalize on multiple audiences, multiple demographics, and then save Diana tease Diana at the very end of Chapter 1 of Gods and Monsters, and then give her a solo film in Chapter 2.
But that's like 5 to 10 years later.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta
For
go
the
with the
DCU. Go ahead, Nick.
All right. So let's pretend we're casting Wonder Woman. Gal Gadot is not available. Who would you cast out of today's modern actress pool to be Wonder Woman?
Not
I want to be realistic here.
The only reason why Blue Beetle is over Wonder Woman is for inclusion and representation. No, not the only reason. Not the only. That I'll disagree with you, Daniel. By the way, didn't Gunn say that Gunn is going to play Wonder Woman?
He never
He
confirmed
went
that.
back and forth. He goes back and forth on that because before he said, "Oh yeah, we're working with Gal to make Wonder Woman 4." Well, oh yeah, casting. It has to. I don't want anyone. Honestly, I don't want anyone that doesn't have an accent, that doesn't look exotic, because it doesn't make sense anymore for a straight up white American woman to play Wonder Woman now.
You need
it doesn't work anymore.
I think it's pretty clear. I think it's pretty clear that Gal's out because she did unfollow James Gunn on Instagram.
She refollowed him.
When she got caught. I think
no, but the point. I'm not playing that game right now. But
all right.
But I'll say this, right? They need someone with no political agendas behind that if they're going to play a certain role, right? Because that's going to be the most important key factor for Warner Brothers. Is nothing political, because if you get someone that's got political, it's going to really screw up with your projects going forward. I'm just saying.
I think the biggest problem they had when casting Gal is she's great in the role, but the biggest problem is she had that thick Israeli accent. So thus all the Amazons, basically Amazons had an Israeli accent. They all had to kind of adapt their accent. It did kind of take me out of the movie a little bit. The fact that Amazons, they have an Israeli accent for some reason.
Okay, at least give them a Greek accent, and then you're good to go.
Sure.
There you go. Because they kind of did that with the Tomorrowverse, and that actually worked. Do you want to say, JJheat?
Quick question for the panel: there have been stills for the X-Men apparent X-Men video game coming out? Has anyone seen that yet?
It's infested by Sweet Baby Ink. It's gonna be bad.
Wait, Sweet Baby Ink's on this?
Yes.
Yeah, and have you seen the Jean Grey model? They modern audience.
I just happened to hear about it. I've been
basically Spider-Man 2 MJ'd her.
No.
Come on, you guys are yanking me. It can't be that bad.
Yeah, it is. As the gaming lord himself can say this, right? I can validate what Nick is saying. Or JJheat is saying. They're literally doing Jean Grey as Mary Jane in a mission, right?
I'd say it looks worse, honestly.
Hold on.
This is Jean Grey.
Come on, it can't be that bad.
It's that bad.
I love how he said it can't be that bad, and then he just stopped.
I'm sorry, the way his eyes just literally popped out of his head. That's a comic sleep moment.
That's a comic sleep moment. Yeah, but Tevi, no, this stuff still shows up in the game. They just use this as previs as an excuse to avoid criticism.
So
I knew oh god.
I want to end it on a
Sweet Baby
positive
Ink
note.
is confirmed working on the game.
Yeah. But anyway, so on that note, I think that's a good place to leave it.
Please
So
wrap up the stream.
we'll go around. So Taladia, where can we find you, and what have you got coming out on your channel?
So you guys can follow me on Twitter at @TaladiaPlays_. That's where my stuff, I post everything in regards to DC and all that good stuff. On YouTube is at Taladia Plays. What I've got coming up is I've got a channel update video going to be posted either tomorrow or Sunday. I'm going to be giving you guys an update what I'm going to be doing. And also my adventure for Superman, episode 6, with myself and Jared reacting to it. And it's a very doozy one. As
Doing us all service.
Well, it's a very good one. I can assure you on that. So
Well, cool.
so on that, make sure you guys come over there. I'll do that stuff, and then next week, of course, I've got Snyder Fans Read Comics with Jared, as we're gonna cover another issue, part 3 of Throne of Atlantis. So yeah.
All right, and then for me, I'll go next. So tomorrow we're going to be reviewing Blue Beetle. We're going to be talking about Blue Beetle for movie night. Britt and I are going to be talking about why DC destroys Superman. And in terms of like commentary, I'm thinking about what I'm going to do for commentary. I may do another video on the DCU. We'll see. But Under Two Capes, I just uploaded the Under Two Capes where Robert Willing and I talked about the Brad Meltzer, Dwayne McDuffie, James Robinson era of Justice League of America. Fantastic run. So go ahead and check that out. And okay. And Nick, where can one find you and what have you got coming on your channel?
All right, you can find me on Twitter on as a Phoenix Press, YouTube, search same. Tomorrow I'll be continuing to play some Witcher 3 with Nick Slug and a cameo appearance by Jared. He'll come in, harass me for a few minutes, and then dip. Got my House of the Dragon review on Monday. The return of Comics Watch on Wednesday. On Tuesday, we are going to be doing episode 2 of our Majora's Mask playthrough. You guys actually really seem to like that. That video has like 50 views on it. Thank you for that. And yeah, let's get on.
How about JJheat? Go ahead.
As for me, you can find me on JJheat75 on Twitter /X or JJheatBlaze. I am on my road to 250 subscribers. Woo! So this is going to include my Dikamu retrospective, my Damian Wayne retrospective, and the return of Wasted Potential. So I'm bringing that back, and I'm even doing a remastered edition of my SWTOR playthrough. Hey, if we all get a Bear the Cringe, the Acolyte, I'm at least going to give you an alternative.
You should title it what the Acolyte should have been.
Hey, that's not a bad idea.
There you go.
Are all the
There
NA
you go.
servers combined now?
Oh,
what? But anyway,
We'll
talk after the stream.
Okay.
Nix, how about you?
You can find me on Twitter at FunnyGirlNix. I post memes.
And she
And
posted
Brand.
about how much she loves Avengers 200 and Velma. So there you go.
And how much she loves this new version of Harley Quinn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she really loves it. You can tell.
Crazy.
Nix is like sharpening her battle axes right now. She's gonna come after us for this. Starting with Nick because of his terrible gameplay. But anyway.
If I mess up one more time with Majora's Mask, she will teleport behind me and stab me in the neck.
Well, anyway, on that wonderful note, see you guys later. Stay work. Remember, Lois Lane is Lois Lane. She belongs to General Zod. Zois and Max about for life. See you later.